again and welcome back to the PhatPhish Guitar Studio. I'm Dave, and in this video we're not going to be talking about guitars or effects or music or anything like that. We're going to be talking about microphones. Specifically this one, it's the Rode Lavalier Go lapel microphone. Before getting into talking about the microphone itself, I kind of want to give you a little bit of context and explain the recording setup that I use for doing YouTube videos here. Everybody has their own particular setup. So this isn't like a textbook example. This is how you do it. This is what I do and it works for me. The audio that you're hearing now is coming from a room microphone which is situated just out of shot down there. So that's pointing towards me, picking up my vocals. The reason that I use a room microphone rather than the microphone on the camera is this is the quality of the audio that comes from that microphone that's in the room, and this is the quality of the audio from the camera built-in microphone. It's a little bit better if you use a dedicated microphone. I guess it comes down to, the camera I'm using, it's an SLR because I do an awful lot of landscape photography, so for me it's like it's a proper camera. But it also shoots video, so I thought, well, I should be using that for shooting video because it's got a better sensor, I've got good lenses and so on. But the microphone that's built into it, it's not a dedicated video camera, so it's just a little stereo microphone that's built into the camera itself. It's not perfect, hence I get better quality audio by using this microphone here in the room. But as you can tell, the audio quality from in the room, it's a little bit echoey. You can tell that I'm in a room. I've got a separate audio feed coming from the microphone, from the amplifier. So that gets recorded separately. So what it allows me to do is to switch between the audio when I'm talking and then just the sound of the guitar. And the reason I have them as separate sources is I can do things in post whereby I take the sound of the room microphone out, so you don't get all the clicky stuff as the pick's hitting the string. What you get is the sound just of the guitar. If I didn't mute the room microphone, it gets all a bit clicky and distracts from pure guitar sound. So that's the setup. I've got direct feed for the guitar and a room microphone picking up me. But like I said, the room microphone gives you the sound of the room, and what I want is something that's a little bit more direct, and that's where something like a lapel microphone works really well, because it's so close to me. It's picking up the direct source of my voice rather than picking up my voice going out into the room and then picking it up as it echoes off the walls. So I've not got tons of soundproofing or anything in here. So that's the reason for wanting a lapel microphone. I've used one a little bit, but it started to get a bit flaky, and I thought it was time to get a new one. Hence, I got the one I picked was this Rode Lavalier Go. The main factor for it is the connector. It's just a straightforward TRS, like tip ring sleeve, or what you sometimes call like a stereo 3.5mm jack sort of thing you get on a regular set of headphones, because that's compatible with what's on my camera. So I can make it's a nice easy setup. I can just plug that into the microphone in socket on the camera there, and it records directly. Other microphones I looked at, they're kind of intended for using like with belt packs, and they've got different types of connectors, and I thought I don't want anything that complicated. The camera's just over there, it's not like I'm walking around doing like broadcast audio or anything like that, so just a connector, cable connector into the camera will do. So I'm going to cut for a second and actually plug the microphone in so you can hear how it sounds. Okay, so we're back and you're hearing me now through the lapel mic, and hopefully you can tell the sound's a lot more direct. It's not as echoey or has got as much reverb as it does when it's coming from the room microphone down there, because like I say, that's picking up the sound of the room, so it's getting a little bit of like echo and bits of background noise and whatnot. So that's good. I've got a more focused sound from the microphone. It's not picking up the distractions of reverb and whatnot from the room, so that's a tick in the box there. This microphone is omnidirectional. So let's talk about what that means. The omnidirectional microphone will pick up in any direction. So it's going to pick up my voice here, but it's also its pickup pattern is it can detect like noise down here all around the room. But because it's like the sensitivity of it, it's not going to be picking up sound over there as easily as it picks up something that's really, really close. But being omnidirectional, it means you can clip it onto, like I've just got on my shirt here. If I was wearing a suit jacket, God forbid, I could clip it on a lapel. You know, if you could put it onto different, you know, parts of clothing, whatever, you know, whatever you happen to be wearing that suits, and it's still going to have a similar sort of performance. And it doesn't matter how the microphone's oriented in the little holder. But because it's omnidirectional, it might pick up some sound. So one concern I've got is about, will it be picking up all of the clicking sounds while I'm playing the guitar? Because a lot of the work that I do in post is, when I'm playing, is fading out the room microphone, so you only have the direct sound of the guitar, and then fading the room microphone back in. I'm not 100% convinced that this is going to do the job, but hopefully it will be a lot better than the room microphone. So let's just try that. I'm going to play a bit of guitar and we'll hear how it sounds. Now I picked this guitar intentionally because it's got fresh strings on, so they're going to be nice and loud and snappy. It's actually quite a resonant, quite a lively guitar anyway. And I picked, no pun intended, this particular pick. It's a bone pick, so it's quite hard because of quite a sharp attack against the strings. So it's going to give the microphone as much of a workout as possible, that there's going to be a lot of sort of ambient noise just from the guitar. And we'll see how that sounds. So this is the direct sound of the guitar just on its own. And let's fade in the microphone and see how much it picks up. And just for comparison, let's do the same thing again, but we'll use the room microphone and see how the pickup of the lapel mic compares with the room mic. So not perfect, this is still picking up some of the pick noise, but it's an improvement over the room microphone. So I'm still going to be having to do some work in post when I edit YouTube videos, but where this is going to help is when I'm doing like live streams. I've got in the habit of doing like Facebook Live sessions where I'm like playing and doing guitar, music lessons, guitar lessons, whatever. And it's not the sort of thing there where I can just keep jumping up and down to a mixer and fading the microphone in. So this is it's not going to be perfect quality audio on like live streams, but it is going to be a lot less distracting because there's not so much like ambient noise from the guitar like bleeding into the feed from the lapel microphone. So generally I'm quite happy with that. It's decent value. I think this cost me about £65. I would have preferred to go into the high street and actually buy it from a bricks and mortar store, but if you see the date when I'm publishing this video, you'll know that everything's coming at the house via mail order at the minute. So shopping around on the internet, I think it was about £65 that I paid for this, and I think that's decent quality. Rode have got a good reputation. I've heard a lot of people speak very highly of Rode microphones, and the performance on this is good enough for me. If you wanted a more exhaustive test, yes, I'll be getting different people to come into the studio, you know, men, women, deep voices, high-pitched voices, the full range. Obviously, I don't have the ability to be able to do that now because no one's allowed to come visit. But you've got sort of something to compare it against, like the microphone, just me talking against like using a room microphone. So generally quite good so far. Any downsides? Well, some downsides just are generally associated with wearing a lapel mic, so it's not something that's it's pointing specifically at this particular mic. Is if you've got a microphone here,
you set the recording level so it's picking up your voice when you're looking at the camera, or you're looking at whoever you're speaking to. But the problem is, if you then look down at your pedal board like this, your voice is going more towards the microphone, so you get a difference in level. So you need to be careful when you set the levels, that you're not setting it so sensitive that when you put your mouth down like this and you're talking more directly into the microphone, that it starts to clip. So that's just something to think about. Any time that you're setting up a lapel mic. And the other thing is, it picks up like scratches from clothing. So if you've got a guitar strap on, or you brush the guitar against yourself, it picks up noise. It's just something you need to be aware of, and you have to adjust your posture so you speak forward and don't keep rustling the guitar against your clothing, or scratching your neck and clipping hitting the microphone. It's just good practice. It's something you need to get in the habit of for when you use a microphone like this. Specifically with this microphone, personally I would have liked the cord to be a bit longer. My old lapel mic had a ridiculously long cord, and it was great because I could sit here with it on, cable right the way across to the camera, no problem. This one I've had to kind of put it into an extension cable to make it reach from here. I guess the target market might be more for people who are using the microphone just for like blogging or something like that, where you don't need such a long cable. It's about a metre and a bit, probably about a metre-ish. I'll measure it and put the specs down there. But like I say, it's not super long. But I guess if you want to use it close to, then you haven't got lots of spare cable to wind up. So it depends on your use case. I solved the problem easily enough with an extension cable. If you had a similar use case to me, you could do the same thing. That said, the cable itself, it comes with, the whole thing comes in a little pouch, and attached to the cable itself is a rather scary looking label that says, "Warning, strangulation hazard. This cable contains Kevlar and has the potential risk of causing lacerations and strangulation." Which all sounds a bit scary. Avoid looping the cable around the neck and keep out of the reach of children. So what that tells me, apart from the care about health and safety, is this is a really durable cable. If you don't know, Kevlar, that's the stuff that they make bulletproof vests out of. So it's really strong, and what that means is the cable, if it gets twisted, it's not going to kink. It's protected by more than just like a plastic shielding. There's something really tough there, so if it does get snagged, it's not going to snap. I've got something similar on my in-ear monitors. I've got some Shure in-ear monitors. It's got the Kevlar reinforced cable, and it's a step up from just general quality cable. So I guess this being Kevlar, it's kind of expensive, so they've kept the price more affordable by not giving you meters and meters of this expensive Kevlar reinforced cable that you might not need. So it's good enough, and the problem for me was solved just by using an extension cable. This microphone, as is common with mics of this type, needs some sort of power. Now, we're not talking about like 48 volt phantom power through XLR like you get with big microphones. This is like lower voltage stuff. It's what's called plug-in power. Now, doesn't seem to be particularly fussy about what voltage it gets. I've tried it with a little plug-in adapter, which takes a 1.5 volt AAA battery. It worked fine with that. Plugging it directly into my camera, which is a Canon EOS 80D, whatever voltage that supplies was plenty enough, and the microphone worked straight away. And also tried it with my Zoom H4n recorder, which has got an external mic input. It takes a stereo microphone, which this is, and that worked fine. The Zoom thing doesn't seem to state what voltage it supplies, but the microphone played quite happily with that. No issues at all. I have had issues with the Zoom and some other microphones, but this Rode one, it was fine. So I'm fairly confident it's got enough tolerance. Whatever voltage it gets, it seems to work okay. Just mentioning the connection to the camera, it's a TRS connector on the microphone, so it's a stereo one. So something to bear in mind if you're selecting a lapel mic. Some have a stereo input, some have a mono input. So you can tell by looking at the plug if it looks like a little guitar lead, this sort of connector, or if it's a stereo lead, it's like a TRS. So you got that extra connector there. My camera, I know, takes a stereo microphone, so I specifically looked for a a microphone that had the TRS connector. If you use a mono microphone into a camera, then it'll only record on one channel, and then you'll have to muck around with the audio in post-processing, like strip one channel out and convert it to mono or not. It's a bit of a faff. So having a stereo microphone, or a microphone with a stereo connector into the camera was good. It's not a stereo microphone, it's recording it as mono, but it's putting it down the left and right channels, if you see what I mean. So my verdict on this, yeah, I'm happy with it. Not a cheap microphone, but not super expensive. I could have spent an awful lot more, but for my use case here, just for picking up decent quality audio to go into YouTube videos, or to give me some like more focused vocal sound without picking up too much background noise for doing like live streams or whatever, it's plenty good enough, and not too obtrusive. It just, you know, just clip it onto my shirt, and away we go. So there you go, that is the Rode Lavalier Go lapel microphone. Hope you found that useful. If you did, please click like down there, and if you really enjoyed it and you want to see other videos that I post onto the channel, then please click subscribe, which is also down there. You're welcome to leave a comment, but I don't always see comments that are left on YouTube videos, so if you've got a specific question that you want to ask me, then you're probably better off going here, filling this form in, sending your question in, that way I'm guaranteed to see it, and get around to answering your question in a future video. Okay, so that's all for now. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.